Hello, everyone. Good evening from my end. Good day to everyone, and welcome to the evening edition of One Global Movement. Thank you guys so much for being here before me. And thank God I am here. And how are you guys doing? I can see Tarunja is there again first. Uh, Mr. John Barilla is there. Ballyhoo Pushpin Media is there. Thank you guys so much for coming here. I am trying to do something here so that we can start. There are some beautiful celebrations that are coming in, but we can start by playing Bob Marley. And then when everybody's here, then we can play our international anthem. So here we go. Let's get together and feel alright. Hear the children crying, one love. Hear the children crying, one heart. Saying, give thanks and praise to the Lord, and I will feel alright. Saying, let's get together and feel alright. Oh, 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 oh. Let them have back for them. Dirty remarks. One love. There is one question I really love to ask. Is there a place for the hopeless sinners who have hurt all mankind? Just saving some believe me. One love. What about a one love? What about a little? Get together and feel alright. As it was in the beginning. One love. So shall it be in the end. One heart. Alright. Thanks and praise to the Lord, and I will feel alright. Let's get together and feel alright. One more thing. Let's get together to fight this holy and a Gideon. One love. So when the man comes, there will be no doom. One soul. Have pity on those who can save from standing. There is no hiding place from the Father of creation. Yeah, yeah. One love. What about the one love? What about the let's get together and feel alright? I'm fleeing to mankind. One love. One love. Give thanks and praise to the Lord, and I will feel alright. Let's get together and feel alright. Thanks and praise to the Lord, and I will feel alright. Let's get together and feel alright. Thanks and praise to the Lord. Sorry about that. Now, thank you guys so much again for coming. It was wonderful today. If you missed the O Connect today, it was amazing. It was wonderful. Mr. John Barilla made it amazing. It was very beautiful. And we thank God for that. And I think today we are going to do something that is going to help us. We want to repeat a topic here today because it is so important for gardening. And hopefully next week we are going to complete gardening, and then we can embark on other things. I'm just trying to go back here to what it will be good for us to repeat. And we will take it from there. But today we have one of our own, our daughters, who graduated today, and we are going to be showing beautiful pictures of her graduation. And I know that we also have other young people that are graduating
They might not want to come here just yet, but they will come. They are going to come because we have so many One Global Movement families, children from One Global Movement families that are graduating. So that is very, very important. And today we will be in the series, oh, we'll be in the series Mindset series number 68. So I'm going to repeat it. We're going to repeat number 66 because it is very, very important. Because why? Gardening embodies everything: nature, the worms, the insects, the crickets, water, the air, everything. So when we repeat that, and then next week, we might be rounding up with gardening. That is a period of sowing a seed. After that, we will go into the period of tending the garden, watering it, weeding the grass, and other things until we get to the harvesting season. So we are going to fully consume everything about gardening, because without gardening, or without sowing a seed, without planting, without the farmers, we will not be able to be here, because we need to eat in order to do things well, right? So that is what we're going to be doing. And we're going to be short and simple today so that people can go and start enjoying their weekends with their families. But I want to say congratulations to all those students that are graduating all over the world, not just that we know, and even from kindergarten. We want to say congratulations to them. We are praying for them and we are applauding them. We are their cheerleaders here in One Global Movement. And I want to thank you, Mr. John Barilla, for your storytelling today and the way you wrapped it up, and you kind of bring the purpose of why we are living to uplift one another, living to uplift humanity. No need for fighting, no need for stealing, no need for taking things that don't belong, because we have too much. And so if we can just come together to love one another, to make each other happy, the world will be a better place to be. It was so beautiful today. I love it. And I'm going to try to retrieve the video and help other people to watch and see what happened today, the true spirit of humanity. But the one thing that I must say is we have to shy away from the spirit of accusing other people, other countries, and other continents. We must shy away from that, and we must shy away. We want to bring the positive, because in every society in the world, there is a positive. We want to take that positive and build on it, instead of continuing in the old ways of depicting certain countries and certain people. And that is just what is bringing the problems all around the world, because a lot of people, they forget to see below their noses, but they want to see outside. So we don't want that spirit here in One Global Movement, because we want to pick, all children have greatness within them. We want to take that greatness and build on it and move on. Of course, every family, every individual, every society has that side of them that is not so good, because that is the way we humans are. But we want to build on the positive, like the way Mr. Ash Mufara is doing. He understood what his vision was leading him to, but he decided to do it anyway, to uplift all of humanity, regardless. And hopefully, through the use of unperceived artificial intelligence, the sensors, the algorithms, little by little, corruption of all kinds will be erased from the world. And sometimes it is not going to be totally erased. But guess what? We have those algorithms that are going to dictate all those things, and we constantly work on them in safety and monitoring all those things, which is very good, so that children can be happy, they can have a better future. So thank you guys so much. Congratulations to you, Mr. John Barilla, for today. You always say you're not a presenter, but who is a presenter? A presenter is somebody who really speaks from their heart, that speaks authentically, that speaks what comes from within them, not something from outside. And today you did just that. Because when you talk about your career and all the things that you've done along the way, that's exactly our stories. People grow and learn through other people's stories. And today we saw that from you. That was excellent. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I am going to ask you for the section that you read about, that you kind of brought in on passive and one global movement. I like that piece. I want that piece. If you can send it to me so that we make something out of it for you. And for you, not just for you, for everyone, and for children of the world, because that is so beautiful. So thank you so much. And thank you all so much for helping here. And we're going to repeat Mindset Series number 66, gardening. Back to gardening, incorporating art and craft projects into gardening. Why do I want to repeat this? It concerns art and craft projects. You know, we have O Create. When we have O Academy and O Bless, all of the other O's that we have, if we don't have what is called O Create and O Joy, things will be boring in life. Things will be very boring for our children. So you can garden. Gardening is not for everybody, but when gardening is spiced up with art and craft projects, it becomes so interesting that everybody wants to do gardening. I have seen people decorate their gardens, but I didn't know how they were doing that. Now that we've got to teach this to our children, I started finding out and researching to know how I can make my gardening fun and for other people to want to also garden. Because if we're going to teach our children gardening, we must make it fun. Because if it's not fun, a lot of times children don't want to learn and they will not want to understand. They will just do it because mommy and daddy says it's a good thing to do, right? And so we ourselves must learn how to decorate our garden. And I'm sure Sister Sharon Pushpin Media, Ballyhoo Pushpin Media will know, because no, remember, she has this garden club within my garden in Onet, which I highly recommend that we go there and subscribe to her garden club within my garden. That is very important for us because she uses the knowledge from that garden a lot to teach a lot of things for our children here, which is very good. And that I thank God that she is the mentor for children here. So thank you guys so much for being here. So we're going to incorporate art and craft projects into our garden. That is going to be fun. And we're going to learn about how we can do this and what kind of art and craft can we put into our garden to make it more interesting, more appealing, and like teaching other people to know that garden is not a boring thing. It is something that you can have fun with it too, if you know how to do so. So incorporating art and craft projects into gardening can be a delightful way to enhance the beauty and creativity for our outdoor space and activity. And what are some of the ideas that we can incorporate art and creativity into our garden? We have DIY. I'm sure a lot of us will know, especially Sister Sharon Ballyhoo Pushpin Media, who loves to garden. And I learned a lot of ideas from her. I thought I was a good gardener, but she even taught me a lot of things that were so much different things that I didn't even know myself. And thank God that I learned that from her. So DIY plant maker, do it, DIY, do it yourself, plant markers, do it yourself plant marker. That's what is meant by DIY. So we can create unique plant markers using various materials such as painted rocks. I have seen painted rocks, but I was just admiring it. I'm like, how did they do this? You know, it was a beautiful garden, but I did not know. I thought it was just something out of space. I didn't know that it was something that I can do it myself. So we can paint our rocks, wooden spoons. We can paint wooden spoons or craft them in different shapes, or even propose ceramic ties. Ceramic tie, you can paint or write the names of the plants on these markers, adding a personal touch to your garden. the way you imagine it, maybe the way that you see some people do the art and craft and decorate their gardens, you admired it. What was it about it that you admired? You can learn from there too, and you can come and do it in your garden so that it is appealing to you. When we do that, sometimes people go and sit in their gardens and play music. They sit in their garden, they read, they sit in their garden, they do other things, other activities. And you can sit there with your children and your family, and you do a lot of things because you have taken the time to paint, decorate these gardens in different ways. So now, do it yourself or DIY plant markers are small tags. They're not big things, very small tags or labels that you can create yourself to identify and label different plants in your garden or indoor pots. They can be made from a variety of materials such as wood, corks of bottles. I don't want to say beer bottles, but bottles, plastics, or even recycled materials like popsicle sticks or old spoons. A lot of things. These are things that you don't have to really go to the market to buy. These are things that we can use at home. Remember the 3 R's of uh, recycle. Is it recycle? What is those three? I recycle, reuse, and what? Something. 3 R's. I got them in my mind, but I almost just forget one. So those things are meant for a reason. Most of those things, those materials are reused for something. We don't throw away things just like that, because what is garbage to you might be just gold for somebody. So we can use those things. We don't need to go to the market to buy. Now I recall there is a big nursery here in our area where we go and buy our plants from there and other things and flowers. Now I begin to see how I see these stones. They're very decorated, and then you see uh, like a man-made spring and maybe an aquarium. Everything is beautifully decorated. Now I begin to see, and I love to go there because now I am in the spirit of gardening. I thought I was, but now I learned it, and it's even getting better and better. So these markers typically have the name of the plant written or engraved on them, allowing you to easily identify what you have planted. It's good to really do that, do those labeling. So you identify your plants and you know how to take care of those plants, because sometimes different plants require different methods of nurturing them. So we want to be able to label that. And then they are not only practical, but they can also add a decorative touch to your garden or indoor plant setup. Sometimes people don't have outdoor gardens, but you can also, there are plants or flowers that grow inside that you can start with that, because some people too don't have the space. If you don't have the space, you can use this pot. What I do is when I go to buy plants at Home Depot here, there are some pots that they discard them. I ask if I can have them, they give them to me. Now I come, a lot of my indoor plants, I plant them in there. And those big ones, I use them outside to start nurturing some of my plants. So you can also ask for those things because they recycle them or they just give them away. You can ask and you can use them, so you don't have to go and buy plant pots. So plus making them yourself allows for personalization and creativity. If you make these decorations, your garden decorations by yourself, for instance, now we are in business, in non-passive, right? And like Sister Sharon has her garden, an old net within my garden. You can, as you make it yourself, you personalize it to suit your spirit of your gardening. That alone is marketing. That alone is teaching other people, is teaching children. This allows for personalization and creativity. And when you get into that spirit of art and craft and creativity in your garden, things begin to flow in your mind, because I have learned these things. I didn't know them before. Now I learned them. I want to start doing my own. And I know my son used to do those. I said, why are you painting those rocks for? I keep asking questions. And now I begin to understand why he was doing that. So now you can use mosaic garden accents, mosaic garden accents. Use like broken bottle mosaics are like broken tiles, broken bottles, broken glasses, or pottery shards to create colorful mosaic designs on garden pots, stepping stones, or even on garden walls. And be sure those things you're doing them, you are safe, especially when you're doing them with children, so that some things don't cut them. And that's why we recommend garden gloves and also boots. Put on your socks and your boots and put on some garden gloves so that it doesn't cut. So we need to be careful, especially when we're doing it with our children, so that they don't it doesn't cut them. So these mosaic structures and creative art can add a vibrant and artistic touch to your garden. And Sister Sharon, if you want to come and talk about that, you're free to come here at any time. So mosaic as an art form. Traditionally, a mosaic is a piece of art or decoration made by arranging small colored pieces of glass, stone, or other materials into a certain pattern that you love, that you imagine in your head. And or it can be in the form of a heart. I have seen this one is not a garden, but it's the lawn. People that are so specialized in mowing the lawn, they make some patterns. The one that I've seen is a hat, big hat, beautiful. And you see people that pass on the way, they stop to take pictures of that hat, the way that it was beautifully made just for the lawn. You see how you can beautify your lawn, and at the same time, you are uplifting the spirit of the people that are passing by or of your neighborhood. That is so, so beautiful. So by arranging small colored pieces of glass, stones, or other materials into a pattern or image, mosaics have been used for centuries in various cultures to adorn walls, floors, and ceilings. I have seen that in bathrooms and in kitchens. I have seen those kind of patterns, and it's so beautiful. I'm telling you, we are living on beauty. We don't even know. Sometimes if the tiles of your bathrooms are broken, don't throw them away. You can bring them together with a little hammer, you mash them together, and you go online, you Google, and you do something with it. You'll be so happy that you did. It can not only be for the garden, it can even be for your home, because there's no need to go and be buying things from the store when you can come out with something that is do it yourself, DIY. That is very important. Then we have number 3, decorative garden stones. I have some 2 stones here that I picked up from somewhere. I think I went to the hospital. It's been 2 years with me. I don't know why I kept them. I decided that I was going to paint them, but I haven't done that, So when you paint or decorate garden stones with colorful designs, you inspire quotes or patterns. When you design that, you can also write your own quotes pertaining to the garden and also pertaining to what you design. That is very, very decorative. These decorated stones can be placed strategically throughout the garden to add visual interest. Imagine that you are gardening for commercial purposes. Imagine that. And you decorate your garden. Sometimes you take pictures. We are living in the visual world now, artificial intelligence. Most of the things are online. Imagine that you do that and you post the pictures, and you also let the people that are passing by, they're seeing this garden physically. Just imagine that. That is it really uplifts somebody's spirit of beauty. Somebody might be having a bad day, passing by your garden, they see what you're doing, they will love it, and you just uplifted their spirits. And you are also doing so, marketing your own garden for the future, because when you start harvesting those crops, people will want to buy from you because of the way that you decorated your garden. That shows that your seeds are they are good seeds. You're attracting people to you. We have a lot of beauty around us. Sometimes we don't just know what to do with it, but it is there. And then we also have number 4, handmade garden sculptures. We handmade garden sculpture that you can really use your hands and different materials like clay to do it with. So we can create sculptures using materials such as clay, metal, or recycled materials. These sculptures can take the form of animals, abstract shapes, or any other creative design that complements our garden aesthetics, the beauty, aesthetic of our garden, the beauty of our garden. And number five, excuse me, we have botanical prints and artwork. We can hang botanical prints or artwork depicting flowers, plants, or garden scenes on fences. We can do that on our fences. Even if you don't have a fence, you can buy some other things that you can hang a basket on there, and you put those decorative things on there and you hang them around, and people will still want to admire. You know, one of my friends who lives out of state, the way she did that, her own, it was so beautiful. What she did was, we have this kind of beans that is called creeping beans. Creeping, it can creep for how many meters? It can creep. So I also have the beans here. So I planted it last year. It my brother sent it to me from Cameroon. It was just about 6 grains or four. And I said, let me try it. And I planted it along our fence. Oh my goodness. It is always looking for something to keep creeping, creeping. It was so beautiful. I took pictures and I shared them. But what my friend did was, she did it in front of her home where the road is there. People are always passing. So she kind of planted one on the right side, planted the other one on the left side, and brought everything together. And these beans was so, the flowers, when it started with the flowers blossoming, and then now the flowers are turned into small bean pots. And people were passing along the way. They were asking to take pictures. Oh my goodness, it was beautiful. And she sent some of those pictures to me. And when you do that, you can also do other design. Just place it there to entertain people. That is another way of really interacting with people. This is so beautiful. So we can hang these botanical prints or artwork depicting flowers, plants, or garden scenes on our fences, or even on our patios, or wherever that it can attract people, so that it can uplift their spirit of feel spirit of gardening. Maybe they start asking you questions. How did you do this? How can I do it? Now you get to teach somebody and brighten somebody's day. You're going to help that person to plant life and plant light in themselves and in their homes. This is very, very beautiful. You can put them on the walls. And I have seen one lady that I attended classes with, and she has a whole wall in her home, beautifully decorated. That is her special area. She sits there, she reads when she's there, she blossoms, she's happy. And she decorated it so beautifully. And there was water, like going round on down the wall and going up. I don't know what she used. I am going to ask her, I will ask her, so that I can also bring that kind of art and creativity into my own home or into my outdoor garden. That is very beautiful. So this adds a touch of elegance and sophistication to your space, whether indoor or outdoor. It is very important. And then we have DIY bird houses and feeders. Do it yourself bird feeders and bird feeders and bird houses. Do you know that you can just do your own, really build your own bird houses and just put it strategically somewhere where the birds can come and start occupying the place for their own houses, or they can even bring their babies in there and really shelter their babies from rain and sunshine. We can do it, and those are other ways that we can attract the animals. With us here, we have a big pond here that I call it our little lake. we have these beautiful ducks that come, they swim around, they're so happy when when spring and summer is here, they are there. But what we did was, we realized that they were eating our corn. So what we did after last year's harvesting, we kept a large amount of corn for them because they need to eat. They are there doing their job in the environment. They are doing something because these animals are there for a reason. Remember biodiversity and animals in the environment. So now they came now again. This is the season. We put the corn, they will eat. If they come, the corn is not there, guess what? They'll fly over the fence. They come right to the door here, telling you that we need some food, right? And so we now know when to go and keep it. We study their pattern of migration. They will go, and then we know when they are coming. And when they come, the food is already there. And in so doing, they are also helping us to fertilize our soil and other things that we depend on, right? So construct bird houses or bird feeders using wood or gauges or recycled materials. You can paint or decorate them with intricate designs to attract birds while also adding decorative elements to your garden. We can also Google decorative or patterns that attract birds. We will see them. We are now in the age of learning and new things, and things are gotten easily. We can research on that. We should research on patterns that attract animals or birds. It depends on the kind of animals that you want to attract. For me, I'll attract the birds and the ducks. Those ones are not very destructive to the crops. And you just you make your bird houses depending on that, and you put it there. They will come. They will come because now you're studying your animals and the environment, and they will surely come. And that is a good way to interact with these animals. Some of them, the squirrels, we can also keep food for squirrels. Like my son, he loves animals too much. Now he will spend quite an amount of money from his paycheck to buy food for the birds, and he will hang them. We have trees. He will hang them all over. You should wake up in the morning, you see a swarm of birds that are there to eat. If that food is not put there in time, the birds will come, they will go, they will come, they'll be looking around for that food. And so it's a good thing because we are also contributing to keep our environment fertile and safe, and also the animals to be safe, because those animals they are part and parcel of us, part and parcel of the soil, and they also have a role to play. So we want to help them to play their role well, because they too are also helping us. And then we have fairy gardens. We can create whimsical fairy gardens. Whimsical means some funny shapes, like scarecrows or something. My mom, now I remember my mom and my grandmother, they used to create these scarecrows that would scare away the animals from coming to eat the corn. So we can create whimsical fairy gardens using miniature furniture or figurines and accessories, whatever works for you. Even some of the disposable plates and spoons, we can imagine something and make good use out of them. You can also incorporate handmade fairy houses. You know about the fairy houses? You can even build your own tree house or your own grass house. Do you know that those houses are there for a reason? They are good. You can do that. And you can make them from natural materials like twigs, moss, and pebbles, or even grass, depending on your environment. Those things will attract these animals, and therefore decorating your garden at the same time. We can have pressed flower arts, really like different flowers, press flower arts from your garden, and you can use them to create beautiful pressed flower artwork, different flowers that you can press them together, and you're going to form, like, you put this layer of a different species of flowers with a different color, then you put another one, you press them together. Before you know, you come out with a beautiful colorful shape. that you wouldn't believe it. You'll be like, wow, I did not know. And this some of these things, besides decorating your garden, you can actually use them at home. Do you know that because of these things, I started thinking of different things that we can do organically to really help one global movement, children and families, things that we can do that, because when you do these things are natural. When you use natural things, like for me, I don't want to use like a leather couches anymore. I want cane couches and chairs and tables, because when you use things that are natural, things that are from nature, that in itself is healing. You are healing yourself without knowing what you're doing. So we really, really recommend these things for our families, especially our children, especially these organic things. They are very, very good. That is a form of healing, and that is a form of bonding with the one who created us. And when you do that, you'll be so happy with yourself. Instead of using these artificial things, we can learn to start doing those things ourselves. DIY, do it yourself. This is so beautiful. So you can frame these pieces or use them to decorate garden walls or your fence. Very beautiful. And then we have do it yourself wind chimes. DIY wind chimes. Craft wind chimes using materials such as seashells, driftwood, or metal pipes. I was talking about scarecrows. You can use these things, and when those things they chime together, when they come together like this, you see the birds flying away. But sometimes these birds, they become so intelligent that they get used to, they don't want to fly away anymore. They have to sit there and get the food. That's why we have to leave some food for them. Even the scripture says, when you plant a garden, do not harvest every little thing there. Leave something there for the gods. The gods are the birds, the animals, and the other things, so they too can have something to eat. Don't just harvest every little thing from your garden. Leave some there. Sometimes we can even leave some there if we, for instance, if we are gardening around a church, we can go to that church and tell them. Or if we are gardening around, like, let's say, a group home or a foster care area or a nursing home, we can go there and tell the administrators that this is a garden here. I am going to leave part of the crops there for you. And they will go there so that they can harvest the crops fresh. Sometimes they can even take if they're taking care of patients, they can take these patients there together. They can learn how to do something, doing those things with your hands and harvesting natural things with your hands. It's a good way of uplifting your spirit and healing yourself organically and naturally. So that is very important. So hang these chimes in your garden to add soothing sounds and visual interest. This is not only to scare the animals. When it chimes, depending on the sound that you want and depending on what you want to do, it's going to soothe your soul. Sometimes it's just like music in your own garden while you're gardening. A lot of different ways to do things, right? So we can have garden craft for children, garden craft for kids. We can engage children in garden related crafts, such as making seed bombs, painting garden rocks, or creating homemade bird feeders. And this not only fosters creativity in our children, but also helps instill a love for gardening from a very young age. Just bring those materials and give them to those little kids. You'll see what they're going to do. And give them the right thing. They will do their absolute best, even better than us. And then we can learn from them. This is very important. So these are just a few ideas to get us started. If you are not done with your garden, you can continue to do these things. Even when you're done, you're already done planting. Now you can start decorating your garden so that whenever you go in there to weed or to water your garden, whatever you go there to do, you have this decoration that are going to inspire you. Sometimes, like if you're like me, when I look at something, like when I admire the lake, I like to go and admire the lake behind our home here. It really inspires me a lot. Things begin to download in my brain. Things begin to download. I begin to think about things, but I always go around with a paper or I just record something in my phone. But I always like to write things down because I might be using my phone to take a picture, you know? And so things always, a lot of the topics that I come out with, I, when I'm admiring something, they just keep downloading to my brain. Or when I'm driving, they come so much, you know. And so when you do these gardening decorations and creativity, artwork, it inspires a lot of things within you that you can begin to use to educate yourself, your family, your children, your community. And before you know, you have brought a whole community together through your own art and craft, your own art and garden craft. Have you seen the community garden that I have that I'm using for One Global Movement? That's a garden that I've been using for 4 years. And we moved from there, and we are now living in a distant area, but I drive for 40 something minutes to get there because it is very important. Imagine gardening in a community with different people, more than 300 people. And these plots have been given to people by the Harvest Church in this area free. And when you see us together there, we are like soldier ants. This one is helping this one is hoiling this. We are asking questions. What are you going to plant? What kind of seeds do you have? How do you do this? How do you grow this? And again, we are helping one another to learn from one another. And when you go to water your garden, we also have the tendency to help water other people's garden that is close to us. We do that a lot. And sometimes when I go there, I realize that they already watered my garden, especially now that I live further away. This is the importance of community gardening. It brings a lot. It helps you bond with the community. It helps you also help the community with some of your crops. It helps you learn from other people, and they also learn from you. It helps you to help others that cannot even garden for themselves. It brings it brings the community together, because to reinforce the idea that we all come from the same hole. We all were born to live together, to coexist in harmony, in love with one another. That food, gardening is one of the ways that we can garden. You know, I didn't understand this concept until I started researching. I see my parents, and my father will go and clear the farm with fellow fathers in the village, so that our parents, our mothers can go and farm it, because the men have what they have to do, and then the women also have their own work. But either way, you see our fathers going together to do the job, those jobs that are meant for mostly the men. And then you see the mothers coming together to go to the farm together. They will cook delicious food, and they bring their garden or farming ideas together. This is community. Building community is one of the best and surest ways in the world to bring people together for a good and common cause. Look at Mr. Ash Mufara is doing his own gardening. It might be artificial intelligence, but still it is community. Bringing together 1.4 million founding account members is not a joke. That is building communities. In turn, we now take these different communities in the name of different products into the world. Look at what we are doing here now. Artificial intelligence. Now, when we the role of unpassive AI in gardening is so vast. A lot of things are going to happen. First of all, before you even start gardening, we have these sensors or different kinds of trees that can be planted if you are gardening, depending on the area, that can take bring out the ions and the pollutants in the soil, so that you can garden well. We have AI irrigation system. You set it, you let it go. When it is time, it will water the garden and it will stop. A lot of things are going to happen to us. We are in the best shapes of our life because of artificial intelligence. We want to learn along the way and utilize it, and make sure that our children are also moving with the times, so that they too can also learn. And things are just going to be great, because most of these things are going to be personalized to suit our various needs and to suit our families. Isn't that an amazing thing? So this is so beautiful. So I am going to pull up certain things and we're going to celebrate one of our daughters who is graduating today. But before we go there, I will pull out something here while I also get the pictures ready and we celebrate her. So let me pull something that I did last evening. I am having fun with this because before I didn't know how to do it. Now that I know, I just want to keep doing it. Let me see here. Okay, you see, children exposed to air pollution are vulnerable to mental health disorders in early adulthood. So we did this yesterday. Let me pull up another one. Let me see here. I'm not that tech savvy, but it's going to come. Let me see this other one. Okay, look at the beautiful flowers and the butterflies. Isn't that beautiful? And the butterfly there is trying to pollinate the flower and also to look for food. But because these flowers are used chemicals, it is so tough, and the butterfly is finding it so difficult, so hard to suck the nectar and also to pollinate the flower, and that is what is happening there. And let us go to another picture here. Okay.
Your kids in front of an iPad at a restaurant or an iPhone in the back seat of a car while you're driving, just to be able to keep them calm, keep them entertained, keep them from basically being loud and obnoxious kids, you're really doing two very bad things. One, you're killing brain cells on that kid. Number two, like all that blue light flashing in their face and the lack of interaction. Remember.
Okay, that one is short-lived. So let's go to another one here. Let me see. Okay, this one brought tears to my eyes.
I give her a kiss.
Okay, this picture brought tears to my eyes. This is a little boy whose mom passed, but the love and the nurturing of the mother has been imprinted in his mind. And he always rides by every day to go and kiss and say hello to the mom, the mother's tomb. And we can see the kind of compassion, empathy, love that exists when we parents take good care of our own children. So I am driving here to bear with me, please. I'm trying to see if I can bring 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me see. Which one is this? Uh-oh, it's the same one. Let me do something else. I'm sorry, guys. Bear with me. I'm not very savvy here. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Young girl growing up in Houston, Texas, everything was segregated. I wasn't allowed to go to the most professional dance school because I was a black girl. Patsy Swayze, Patrick Swayze's mom, saw me hanging outside the window, peeping into the dance school where she was teaching. And she came out and asked me, "Little girl, can you dance?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." "Little girl, do you have dance shoes?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." And she invited me into her school and she taught me in a class where I felt I belonged. How that impacted me was it let me know that dance was a world that was inclusive. No matter what the world outside was saying, who could do it, who couldn't, the dance world was calling me. And that has a big impact on how I open my arms wide to every student that comes knocking on my door.
Yeah, we can also open our arms wide in all sectors, in the agricultural sectors, in the educational sector. Open our arms wide to children to know that they can be included. In the community garden, we had a lot of children there that came with their parents. They were at work like soldier ants. They were helping everyone, and they helped me too. So that can also be transferred to the garden. I'm looking for this particular download from, I don't know. Let me see. If I don't see this one, I will just.
हैप्पी मदर्स डे मेरी प्यारी माँ।
Oh,
मैं बोलती तो नहीं हूँ कभी, मगर तुम इस दुनिया की सबसे अच्छी माँ हो।
तेरे होते किसका डर, तू दुआओं का है घर, मेरी माँ, मेरी माँ।
wow. Okay, I think I'm not able to download those pictures now. We're going to celebrate one of our daughters on Monday during the Monday edition. Maybe I'll have about 2 or 3 pictures of other graduates we can celebrate, because I am unable to pull it up now. Maybe I did not do the download very well. So I will do it. Let's do it on Monday, please. Okay, this is
Mother's Day is coming. It's almost May and you know what that means. I finally get a day that's all about me. Not washing no dishes, I ain't cooking no food. Some breakfast and bed would really set the mood. I don't need much, just leave me alone. Those handmade cards, I love every single one, but tell your daddy he can go all out. Massages, bags, and shoes, maybe a trip out of town.
Okay, continuing celebration of Mother's Day. And I think we are done. We will prepare those pictures of our graduates, our beautiful graduates, and we will bring them on Monday here as we continue to get the pictures in. And we will be me and my family, we're going to be driving 3.5 hours next weekend after the show. After the 1 p.m. show, hopefully the evening show, I will be able to do it there. So we're going to drive farther away to celebrate with some of the graduates that are graduating next weekend. So thank you guys so much for everything. And let us end this with our international anthem. It's always a good thing. I love to play this all the time because that helps me to make sure that we are showing tribute, paying tribute to Mr. Ash Mufara and Unpassive that brought us here together for a common purpose, to uplift humanity from our hearts. So here we go. Let me see.
Battery 90%. Connected to Yvonne's S24 Ultra and Galaxy Tab A2016 with S Pen.
And free of dyes and heavy perfumes.
Sorry, guys.
We might not have a couch yet.
The
but
commercial.
we got internet. Smooth.
Your new home deserves.
We are here. We are on path, shining bright into the future. We'll rise high with one heart and revolution, lifting up humanity as we rise, standing tall, hand in hand. We are the unicorn. We are the stars. Into it, into it. Into it. Bringing hope, shining bright. We're a nation. nation, we are rising with one love, with one hope, bringing solution, lifting up humanity. Let's rise high, standing tall, hand in hand. We are the unicorn, we are the stars. To win it, to win it, to win it.
In it to win it. I am just going to be mentioning the names here. And we know Tarunja is almost always the first person here. Thank you. Thank you, the managing director, especially for today. And welcome, everyone. And Ballyhoo Pushpin Media, Sister Sharon is here. Thank you so much for everything that you are doing to help One Global Movement. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Of course, our sister Ruth Pace is also here. And we have our arts director, Kushal, is also here as well. Hashtag One Global Movement. Of course, Sir AP Mahut Sadanan is here among us. Thank you so much, sir, for all you are doing to educate us here. We highly appreciate that. Hashtag One Global Movement, hashtag Dr. Mundih. Thank you so much for everything. And thank you, Dr. Mundih. Hashtag Weeding My Garden. Hashtag One Global Movement. Yes, that garden is very good for our children. We need that. So please, if you can, let us belong to that garden, Weeding My Garden, because a lot of the things that she does, she is really inspired because she knows that gardening even more than me. And I'm learning a lot. Then I'll be opening my mouth here. You guys think that, oh, she knows a lot. I learn it, a lot of the things too from her. So thank you so much, Sharon. And the hashtag One Global Movement, hashtag Unpassive, hashtag Mr. Mufari. And okay, let me see what. Hello, folks. After you listen to Yvonne, now you give me a nice spelling the name there. Tonight, come on over to Roblin Live if you have some time. And if you come on Okonek, you can hear me sing a song. Yeah, and come and join us. Okay. And we must design the garden with reduce, reuse. There you go. I was looking for those three R's. Reduce, reuse, and recycle methods. Very true. Reduce, reuse, recycle. We can make garden with fish tank and use those ammonia mix manure water for plants, suitable wastages of plants for food for fish. Wow, thank you for bringing that to my memory. I forgot one of the errors, and we do it here every day. Thank you so much, Sir LP. And fishes are good food with nutrients for humans. Above system in garden may help us to curb malnutrition in children. Certainly. Yes, thank you so much. And definitely after hashtag One Global Movement, as always, to hear you, dear John Barilla. Yes. Thank you. It was wonderful today. Fabulous. I loved it. You can provide some place for some animals, birds and chickens in garden. It will also help each other to fertilize and improve nutrients in a food chain. So true. Thank you. We must teach children about value of water through gardening. Use water in recycling method as well as scientific way. Don't waste water without respect towards water. Drinking water is more valuable. Water is life. We must value water. That's what we did yesterday. Water is very important for everything. You just saw me. I took a sip of water. We need water in everything. Without water, we'll perish, right? Thank you. And teach children to teach children how to make manure with usage of biodegradable wastage and using earthworms. This will help them to understand the reason that which this will help them to understand which creatures and are helpful to improve life, environment, and human. You're just saying something that I learned last year in the community garden. There was this person that worked in a university here. He retired. And so I talked with him. He said, Yvonne, when it rains, the worms will come out. So go with your Ziploc bag and pick the worms from the road, put them there, just come, put them in your backyard and let them just be. They will do their work. You see that? I learned that and I've been doing that. People will be like, why is she picking those things? Ew. I used to say ew to worms too because they are funny creeping methods and walking around. I didn't like it. But now learning from that man, oh no, I did it. And you know, our crops are doing so well here. And I'm going to be posting everything that as they grow. I did the planting. I'm not yet done with all the planting. I did the community garden. We still have to plant a lot here. I'm going to be planting watermelons plants this weekend, tomorrow. It's going to be work here, and I'm going to bring you the good news. So we want to do this so that we teach ourselves and our children, right? Because when the children see us doing it, they will be apt to do it because they know that is the right thing to do, because we, the parents, the adults, and the caregivers are doing it. So yeah, thank you. Oh, Galleon is among us. Thank you so much for being here. We love you. And using some place for animals and birds in your garden, and use the bio waste from poultry farms, fertilizes the soil of your garden. It maintains biodiversity as well as ecosystem. Thank you so much, Shriji Jana. It's so true. You know, when I was growing up, my parents, they used the chicken poop. Well, we call it chicken poop, right? Yes, the chicken waste. They use it to grow vegetable. It grew so well, very well. So what I did last year, we came across this father who lives far away from us, right in the suburbs. And so he goes to the same church with my mom. So I went there, and being that the wife passed and he's the only one living by himself, I took it upon myself to always go and check on him to make sure that he's okay. But I also call him to make sure that he's okay. And if I can take some food there or whatever I can do to help him. And then he has chickens just straying around, feeding on the grass, real organic chicken, real tasty organic chicken. So I had to carry some of the chicken poop and brought it here. We used it in our backyard garden, and the plants did so well. That is true. And a lot of those things, we look at them like, ew, it's dirty. It's not dirty. You're going to eat the chicken. The chicken are those producing that, and it's going to help with biodiversity and the ecosystem. Isn't that good? All of these things are good for us, right? Yeah, thank you so much, brother Shreddy. Thank you. And Sepi says honeybee farming in garden will improve pollination and increase agricultural products, and honey will be best nutrients and tasty food for children. Harvesting rainwater in garden area is a, adorable. So honey is very good. Instead of using sugar, some say brown sugar is healthy. Most of those sugars are not healthy. What we use at home here for our tea is honey, pure honey, 100% honey. And do you know that honey can be snacks, like say AP just says for kids? Just put it in a bowl and they'll just go, they'll be licking it, they're happy. They don't need to use no spoon. Just wash their hands and lick it. It is so happy. Those are the natural ways, and these things are so healing and they're so good for our bodies. You know, that is so nice. And says Asabi say hello, Galleon Mommy. Thank you. Unite and build a beautiful earth for next generation. Yes, thank you. Those are the young ones, right? They need to unite. Thank you. And Kayandari, how are you? Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We love hashtag unpassive peace. Thank you. And happy birthday to whose birthday celebration today? It is Sister Yvonne Finn. Yes, today is her birthday, and we're waiting to also celebrate her on Monday together with the graduates. So we're going to do that on Monday. Thank you so much for remembering that, and happy birthday to everyone and to all the graduates. Remember, if you have any child that is graduating, bring them here. Bring them here. We will celebrate them, because we are here to celebrate children, not just to teach them, to celebrate them, to really be active participants in children of the world, in their lives. And you know, we already have 4 ambassadors for One Global Movement, children ambassadors. If you want your child to become an ambassador, you let us know so that we can add that those children, because they have specific things that they're going to be doing, and this is helping them with their academics, helping them with the everything that they do in the world, helping them with their moral behaviors. So those things are very important. If you want your child to become a child ambassador, let us know. Thank you. Well, Mr. AP, honey is a very good nutritive and also used as a cold medicine. Yep. You know, not that you should do it, but we do it because that's the way we were taught. You see, lemon. When you take lemon and a pinch of turmeric and honey and a pinch of ginger that you blended, you mix it together. It is so soothing to when you have a cold, your throat is soothing, and then it begin to unplug the mucus in your nose and everything. Things begin to get better. And sometimes, you know, you can boil those things and drink them as a tea, because when it is warm, it loosens up the cough. If you have a cold or cough, it loosens up things. They begin to loosen up in your chest, in your nostrils. But that is not to say you go and do it, because I'm not a medical doctor. I'm just telling you about the natural home remedies that my parents taught me. That's what I'm talking about here. And yes, Mr. Shrejit, we together will try our best to reshape this world. Yes, together we can do that. Certainly. Thank you. And we have, I'm just going down the list here to see who else is new here. I guess no other person, but thank you guys so much for being here. I wish you guys the best of the weekend. Enjoy your weekend with your family. Let us meet here again next week. Let us talk about the things that we did with our children. What did we do? What did we learn? What, just about anything. Let us have fun. Let us not be too serious or overthinking things. Let us just have fun and put our hands together and pray to make sure that we help children of the world the way that they are supposed to go. I want to read this hashtag here. Hashtag One Global Movement. Hashtag planning for garden. Hashtag biodiversity. Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much. I love you all. Just always remember to stay focused, stay encouraged, stay empowered, and always believe in endless possibilities. Have a wonderful, fantastic weekend. And until next week, I love you. Bye-bye.